So, what are we drinking today?
So I taste hints of gin
And poison? Yeah, any hints
and
of poison?
other hints of like kerosene or some type of petroleum in this thing.
He's trying to poison us.
We have no idea what
Yeah.
this
Well,
drink
you
is.
got version 1 of the drink. Yeah, you got version 1 of the
You
drink.
got the real poison.
I think if I put a match in here, it's gonna
Yeah,
it's
gonna-
gonna ignite. Yeah, it's gonna ignite.
Burn.
It wasn't terrible. I tasted version 1. I think we all tasted version 1, but
It was pretty bad.
So I'll give you guys a little backstory. So what did we celebrate something recently? Why did we go to Woodstack?
Just to go.
No, yeah, because we've been wanting to go. That was our try 3. The first time we tried to go, I don't know. It was closed.
What?
It was. I think it was Memorial holiday after our
that's
bike
why.
ride. We tried to go. It was closed. That was try number 1. Try number 2 was track after Aiden's track, and then he got like I don't know. He got some heart or stomach
So that was
issues.
last week.
No,
that
that
was
was 2
like
weeks
that was
ago.
like 2 weeks ago. He
We were
couldn't
gonna celebrate, but
he couldn't breathe, so like we couldn't go. And then,
Let's go home.
and then we finally went Sunday.
so I really love Negronis, right? So but we were having brunch. I was like, yeah, it's a little too early in the morning for a Negroni. But I was looking at their menu. They have like several variations of a Negronis. And the rest, well, what it said with the ingredients was like, hey, it's a Negroni, but with Prosecco. And it's called a Sbagliato Spag.
It's called
Ben's like, look up the recipe, make sure I did it right. It's called a Sbagliano. I'm Googling, there's no such thing as a Sbagliano. And then he said another word, and I'm like, that is not the product. So he's like, just look up gin with Prosecco. Or you said vermouth?
No,
Prosecco?
a Negroni with Prosecco.
Prosecco. It's a Sbagliato, which is Sbagliato. And it says you're
Sbagliato.
supposed to replace the gin with Prosecco. Ben
Made a
put
full
gin,
Negroni.
Prosecco,
Vermouth.
and vermouth.
And the Prosecco.
And Negroni.
Yeah.
He definitely made me a jabroni.
It's a Zamboni. And then Karis, she's like, this tastes like shit. We're gonna put some simple syrup.
Simple syrup.
Simple syrup.
So she got some monster of a drink. But anyway, we poured it all out. I tried it again, and now it's much better. It's the way that it was designed to be made, and it's much tastier.
It's all right.
It's much tastier. I feel like I'm in Italy right now.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, I could definitely taste.
Not yours. Not yours.
Taste,
Not yours.
taste little hints of
You're
Aperol.
in poison.
Aperol
You're
spritz.
getting poison. Slowly getting poison.
I have a wedding this weekend.
You'll survive.
Yeah. Yo, so I shot a boat wedding this weekend.
How was it?
Have you guys ever been on a boat for a wedding?
We have
Yes,
just
but like a little
ceremony.
boat.
Yeah,
That
no, it wasn't little. It was like a sailboat.
How many people?
Just
Probably
like 10.
No, it was a little more. 10, 15 people.
We were on a boat before too. Destination.
No, that was for a rehearsal dinner kind of
Yeah,
thing. It
but
was
we
like
were
a
on a boat.
catamaran.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Yeah.
What kind of boat were you on?
It looked like the ferry, like a little like
Oh,
the East River
okay,
ferry.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's all you're in a compartment and everything. They had a little jazz band in there. I thought that was pretty neat.
That's cool.
I thought I was gonna be seasick, right? And the thing is, the captain's like, "All right, wedding planner, where do you want me to take them?" I guess they hadn't planned that far in advance.
Mhm.
The groom actually did more planning than the wedding planner, right? Like got the entire timeline.
The groom.
Yeah, the groom.
That's rare.
right.
Mhm.
He got every detail like timed down to the minute. So we were surprised that he hadn't brought the captain of the ship into his plans. The only thing that they had planned, how they envisioned their wedding was going to be captured, was to take the boat to Statue of Liberty. But after that point, they hadn't planned that far ahead. So we just basically went, up and down the Hudson River, up and down the East River, and that was it.
I mean, where else do you go?
Where would
Where else you go?
Yeah.
And then it's
Oh,
not
for 3-4 hours, man.
But is it like, did you get off?
Oh, no, you didn't, no.
Yeah, so what's the point of even having a destination?
Going
Just
back and
float
forth,
around.
yeah.
So basically, the captain was just driving really slow down the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
The groom hopped on and told the captain, I'm the captain now.
I am the captain of this ship. Yeah.
We did one a long time ago. It was just a ceremony. And they had this whole vision of stopping in between the Manhattan and Brooklyn Bridge for their ceremony. And that's one of the choppiest places to stop at.
A lot of traffic there.
Oh, it was so bad. The officiant was hanging on for dear life. She was like in front of the boat. And I don't know how she performed the ceremony,
Oh
but
my
it was...
gosh.
I was nauseous for like 2-3 days
The boat
after
was
that.
just going up and down, up and down. We're trying to shoot.
Now I got a
and
question for you,
it
right?
was
Did you
fun.
guys be honest? Okay, did you guys do the Titanic pose on the ship?
No, there was no space for it. There was no space, and they probably would have fell over.
Yeah.
I think our people lasted maybe 5 minutes until we went out on the deck. We did the title. And I was having a talk with the other shooter and the planners, like, I wonder what the over-under is. Does the crew start taking bets as
How
far
many
as
people
like
do
how
that?
soon
Yeah.
until
They
these
wanna
people
come
start
back.
doing the Titanic pose?
It was your idea, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody called it. It's like, and then somebody started singing Celine Dion in the back. Too.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, you guys are corny as hell, but whatever. Again, I'm not paid to have opinions. I'm just a photographer to take pictures.
Just let it rock.
All right, you guys ready to start this podcast?
Yes.
All
Let's
right,
do
let's
it.
get it done.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, welcome to the Focus AF podcast. My name is Ben,
I am Karis.
This is Jen.
This is Ro.
and we are Focused AF, I think.
Maybe. Who knows? These drinks are a little strong.
Women
The
poisoned.
drinks are a little bit strong today.
We've been
My bad.
poisoned.
Yeah, so what are we talking about today?
Vendor relationship.
Vendor relationships. So the people we got to work with.
Yes. Our
Mm.
coworkers, since we technically don't have coworkers.
I have a coworker.
Is she the best coworker?
The love of your
Well,
life.
she.
Are you sleeping with your coworkers? Does HR know about this?
I am, but I haven't gotten paid in about.
Pay for sleeping with your coworker?
No.
Sleeping with the boss. Sleeping with the boss.
Sleeping with the boss. Yes.
I haven't been paid
Forever.
for doing my job.
You get
Yes, you
paid with
have.
kisses and back massages and foot rubs.
With a roof over my shoulder,
Correct.
over my head.
But yeah, we're talking about vendor relationships and pretty much how to leverage them for success in our business and basically just to kind of maintain those good relationships with other vendors as we work and navigate through this industry.
Yeah, I love this topic. I think I told you this when you brought this up.
You have goosebumps now?
Yeah, well, not right now, but because I think I'm a little intoxicated at the moment.
I think
Because it took a
all of
little while for
us
us to set
are.
up. Yeah,
I told
I'm
Ben we were
fine.
talking about the topic and he was like, you just gave me goosebumps. I was
I love
like,
this topic.
okay.
Vendor relationships, that's kind of my jam. I love it. I love talking about vendor relationships because the thing is, a lot of times when people think about how do I build a successful business, a lot of times they focus on the product and also the sales and marketing, right? But I think the most overlooked, I guess, asset in your business is going to be those vendor relationships. That's going to actually be the one thing that's going to propel your business from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
You can have like an average product and your sales and marketing can be like, okay, so, right? You're just doing the bare minimum for your SEO and your social media. But the thing that's going to take your business to the next level is all the people that you know in the industry, in the business, in your marketplace.
And the best thing that it doesn't cost anything.
Costs a little bit of effort.
Well, like money wise, like a lot of people
Yeah.
put money into the Knot or whatever marketing tool or sponsored ads. Just working with the vendors on the wedding day, like that's not costing you anything. You're already there.
You can buy some of these relationships. you
True.
know?
To a certain point, yeah.
For $2,500 a
Yeah.
year and a 10%
Well,
commission, you
that's
can buy
more-
some of
that's
these.
more
more
of
of
the venue,
Yeah,
too,
that's
yeah.
more of the venue relationship.
Uh-huh.
But other like wedding vendors, like florist,
Hair, makeup,
yeah,
Video.
wedding planners,
Yeah.
or other photographers that you're friends with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're going to cover this today, but I feel like we as photographers, we tend to focus all of our attention on the vendors upstream. So people that are booked before us, usually the venue and the
Mhm.
planners.
Mhm.
We don't give any attention to the hair and makeup, entertainment, florals,
Efficient.
because they think that, I'm the photographer, I'm usually second or third in line to get booked. I don't need to worry about getting referrals from the florist or the DJ or whatever it is because, they're lower on the totem pole. But I couldn't disagree with that more.
Can you imagine how much free stuff planners get
You mean?
from like photographers or videographers that
But I think to Ben's point, like there's always that rare instance where someone books video before photo or
it happens
they
though.
book
It
other
happens every
things
now and then.
before
It
photo.
happens.
It happens a
Yep,
lot.
yep.
So you
Yep.
kind of need to build those relationships in advance.
And I've gotten referrals from hair and makeup. I've gotten referrals from DJs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Floral decor. Yes.
But the thing is, some of these DJs that I refer, they're like, hey, Ben, like I wish I could refer you more business, but the honest truth is I'm one of the last to get booked. I was like,
Yeah.
listen, man, like I am not doing this because I'm waiting for referrals to come back
Right,
from you.
yeah.
I'm doing this because you make my life easy, right? And I think that's probably the one most overlooked thing about referrals and vendor relationships. Like, how can I make this other person's life easier beyond just like sending more work their way?
Mm-hmm. And then, like I said before, like they are your coworkers on a wedding day. So why not want to walk into a wedding day being excited to be with who you're working with? Like if I walk in and I know that like Naughty Arts is the videographer or Mike Simons, I'm like, yes, it's going to be a good day. Like I know
Mike
who I'm
Simons?
working
Mike
with. I know. who I'm walking into and I'm excited for the day, or I know Danielle Archie's doing makeup or whoever the case may be. I'm like, all right, it's going to be a good day. I'm excited.
Mhm.
All the pieces are going to fall into place. It's going to be amazing. As opposed to when I walk into a wedding day, I'm like, I don't know who this person is. What's going to happen?
Or maybe you do know who it is,
Yes,
and
and then
you
you're
already
like-
know they're god awful.
Yes, exactly.
All right, that's the worst.
That's
like
the
if you walk
worst.
into
Yep.
a wedding, it's like, oh shit, this person again.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're gonna be late.
there's certain like warning signs on the wedding day when you walk in and you're like, all right, it's gonna be a long day.
But I think that's the best. Like, because it makes the day go so much seamlessly smoother and you're excited. And I love when like the clients see you excited to see the other vendor because
Mhm.
they know they picked a good team that's going
Yep.
to work well together. And then
And you
they're
know
so
them.
happy. And then they're like, all right, cool. The day's going to be good. I have nothing to worry about.
I
And
think
the chemistry too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the chemistry, like you said, the clients will see that and they feed off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They start getting happy and excited, and then everyone's joking around. It just makes our job easier to capture more emotion as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The environment is definitely more
Very
it's more
exciting.
conducive
Yep.
for success for all the major players who are making that day possible for the couple. You know. So, what are some of the red flags that you guys are looking for? Like, oh man, this is going to be a long ass day.
What type of vendor? And I'll give you red flags.
Let's go through all of them. All right. We'll start with hair and makeup.
Okay, if I show up and the bride hasn't gotten hair and makeup done yet, I know it's going to be a problem.
Because how much time do you have with the bride for hair and makeup?
We try to schedule it so that we're getting there right as they're finished.
Writers are finished.
Yeah, so if we show up and they still haven't gotten like, we know it's going to be something's going to be running behind. Another like for me when I work with the video team, if I
Well, let's stay focused.
okay.
Let's stay focused on hair and makeup.
Rewind.
Focus AF.
Oh, there's certain people too in our industry, in our area, that have a reputation of taking a little long. So typically, when we get a questionnaire for the timeline and we see certain names, we'll reach out to the bride and say, hey, let's tell her or tell this person that we want you ready by this time, and it's way earlier than normal, just in
'Cause
case.
you know
And that usually does the job. It usually works. It doesn't really.
they end up being late anyway, but they're
But
on time.
Not
for
as
your
late,
example.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's certain things, and the last thing we want to do is tell a couple that they booked,
A shitty person.
yeah. So it's more of like, all right, let's figure out how we can come up with a plan.
Just get it done.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. For us, we usually preemptively take care of that problem. Same thing like you. You know, hey, listen, we need to be done by this time. Just tell your hair and makeup person that we need to be done by this time. Honestly, I think I've worked with almost every single hair and makeup person in New Jersey at this point. So, like, I have a rough idea of whether or not we're going to be on time or not.
Yeah.
But like you said, if I've arrived and they're not done,
Yeah.
that could be that.
If
could
you
be
see the bride
problematic.
walking around and not in a chair, like you know something's wrong.
Mhm.
Like
So, like a lot of my couples, they do the rope shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So, for that reason, if you want a rope shot, generally speaking, the bride should be the last to get ready. Otherwise, everyone's ready except for this one bridesmaid who's
Mhm.
got nothing on right now. Right.
Yeah.
Or like I'll say, hey, listen, mom cannot be the last one to get ready. And then you'll have sometimes you'll have someone arguing with me. No, we want the bride to be done first, so that way she's not late. Right. But I was like, no, because if she wants a rope shot, we got to do all this other stuff. All these other people are not going to be able to be a part of that shot. But you're going to have mom, helping the bride into her dress while she's like all
Yep.
raw.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? At this point in my career, you do whatever the hell you want.
Mhm.
I don't even argue with people anymore. I say, listen, I can only give you my
I'm the same
advice.
way. Yep.
I can give you my 2 cents, but if you don't want to follow it, I'm just the guy that
Yeah,
takes
it
a
is what
picture.
it is.
That is what do I say every wedding?
It is what it
That
is.
is
Yep.
my line every
Yeah.
We
day.
It
can
is what it
only
is.
get what they give us. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
established that
yeah,
slogan
Yep.
about 5 years ago
Yeah.
now.
You do whatever the hell you want,
Mhm.
all right?
Yeah.
I can only tell you what what I can do.
You do get a little anxious and
I don't
And
anymore.
So, well,
Yeah.
you used
I
to.
don't even.
Or he'll be
Yeah.
like, what time is it? How much time do we have?
Now I don't care.
They're not ready yet?
It's it's a line that I tell Jen, like some days you're creative and you're an artist, and some days you're a photographer. Like,
Mhm.
and those days, it's fine. I am a photographer. I'm
Yep.
just gonna do what you want me to
Yep.
do what I can, and
be out of
yeah. And then in the back of my mind, I start to think, they could have hired someone half the price that we
Mhm.
were,
Mhm.
and do the same job.
Mhm.
But at that point, it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna get what I need and keep moving on.
Yeah, you have to roll the punches. And like now I've just let the hair makeup do what they need to do. If they want to take their photos and their videos for their Instagram, go right ahead.
Yep.
And 9 times out of 10, they're very grateful about it. Like they're like, oh, thank you so much for like giving me this 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, they thank us a lot.
Because I think they come across people who aren't as gracious as us that like are on their ass and like, hurry up, we gotta go.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not.
Why
yelling.
are you taking
I'm not
photos?
yelling at them.
Yeah, you have to stand back, let them do their job. You're gonna be with them for the rest of the day. And honestly, bride prep portraits, well, for us as a business, is not the main priority. The rest of the day is. So if I only get 15 minutes for bride prep, it is what it is.
Fine.
We get the safe stuff and we move on.
Yeah, I want to say like the last 5 weddings that I photographed this season already, like I was there after the bride's already been done with her hair and makeup. I didn't even get the bride like lipstick shots and all
No
that
one
stuff.
wants that.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore either, really.
I can't remember the last time. And can we please retire the flash behind the bride with the hairspray shot already?
Or the one reaching through the ring light? The hand reaching through the ring light shot?
It's just like...
That's my favorite when like we're
come
there
on.
for the final touches of hair and makeup, and then the makeup artist is like, all right, tell me when to spray. I'm like, I really don't care when you're gonna spray. I'm not gonna photograph
spray
it.
Away. Spray away. I'm not
that
I'm not
photographer.
gonna get it.
I'm not that
Yeah.
photographer. All right, so we talked about hair and makeup, right? So what's next? Red flags for videographers when you walk into a room.
And you walk into a room, beautiful light, and you see an LED on top of their camera on, which makes no sense. You have
and the temperature is different. Too,
yeah,
from the room.
it's like it's at 3,000 Kelvin. So when I see stuff like that, I already know that they don't see light the same way that we do, and it's going to be a problem.
Yep.
You know, and I just simply ask them, hey, can we turn the light off for these shots? Or let me get my shots and then you could turn your light on. I'm not going to sit there and just say, hey, turn your light off.
Right.
Like,
I do a modified version of that. I say, hey, listen, when you're done with your shot, let me know because I like to get a shot without your lights on. And also, do you guys turn off the lights and turn the lights on and off in the room? Like if it doesn't match the
we turn all the lights off.
Sometimes I'll leave
All go up.
a table light on if it has like a nice little warm glow. If the background is nice, I like to leave that on sometimes, but typically we cut everything off and then somebody always walks in.
It's so dark in here.
You need light?
You want the light?
Turn it off.
Light on. Yeah.
Well, the other reason why I turn off the lights is because, up until tomorrow, I will be shooting with an older Gen 1 mirrorless system. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will have a Gen 2 or Gen 3. Gen 2, Gen 3 mirrorless system that should be okay with the banding issue. But right now I'm working with like a Gen 1, Gen 2 mirrorless
That's
system.
pretty bad.
And it doesn't operate very well when the lights are on in the room.
Really?
When I'm because the thing is like mirrorless, like for reception, I don't have to shoot mirrorless, right? I can shoot with the shutter on. That's fine. It doesn't matter. But like I'm trying
When it's on silent shutter.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm trying to do silent shutter in the morning and the lights are kind of shady.
Because his system, when the shutter's on, it's really loud. So when I'm shooting with mine, he's like, "Oh my god, it's so quiet."
That's why. Yeah, because I've learned to only use silent like if it's only one light source, like usually natural light. Because I've done it when unexpectedly, and it just ruins everything. So
so I don't mess with that anymore. So hopefully by tomorrow I'm coming home, baby. I'm coming back.
Welcome back.
You think?
Team Icon. Yeah. Hopefully we don't lose any. Actually, you know what? Esteban gets to be my friend again.
he shoots Canon,
but he doesn't like Sony.
Yeah, he hates Sony.
He hates Nikon too.
No, he likes Nikon.
Well,
I think he's okay.
He
I think
hates,
he just hates Sony.
Sony's.
Okay, yeah, he hates Sony more than Nikon.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, so video guys, if they use artificial lights when it's not necessary,
and also when they're taking extremely long with the details.
Oh my god.
Like
you're gonna have half a second of the details in the video. Like, why are you there for 25 minutes?
Yeah. And they're doing the same shot.
Well, some photographers do that too. They bring all kinds of props and stuff with them. They'll spend 25, 30 minutes with the details.
Probably to stage
fine,
it.
But don't take just get your stuff. And why do you need set it up, take a few shots, and that's why do you need 100 of these shots?
So the red flag for me when it comes to videographers is when they don't take into any consideration where the photographer's position is, the camera position is. So sometimes you work with videographers, they don't even care where you're standing. They're just going to set their cameras up where they're going to set it up, and then you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to shoot around it. Now, most of the time, I can't shoot around it, But sometimes they put it in some like fucking weird place, and I can't shoot around it. You know,
I have that issue more, like let's say we're shooting a ceremony at a church, and if you don't get set up before they do, they're gonna take that
The prime
whole
spot.
area. Yeah,
they'll be like 5 feet away from the bride and groom. I'm like, what the
and now
fuck?
you're just like, where am I gonna fit here? I can't get a shot without me stepping on the altar.
Yep, or off center.
So like when they're like 5 or 10 feet away from the altar or the ceremony space, that's when I know, all right, this guy, he's going on my shit list.
Yeah.
Yeah, anywhere, even reception during speeches, like you're like right up in their faces. I'm like,
yeah.
This one video guy.
And grand entrance. I'm like, why are you by the door? Like,
And trailing them.
you're gonna be in my shot. Like, are you really gonna be there? Like,
There's some people that are just, it's not that they're clueless; they just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's two types. They don't care, and then there are really like clueless. Like,
And some are both.
yeah.
Now, this is not to say, this is a full disclaimer. We have a lot of friends.
Amazing,
Of course.
yeah.
That are so good.
Are super talented wedding cinematographers. They're amazing at what they do. We love working with them. And this is not to say that, this is photo versus video or anything like that. But, there are...
It's just
I'm sure that video
what we
people...
see.
And I'm sure that video people deal with shitty
Of
photographers
course,
also.
of course.
I always ask, like the
course.
ones that, or the video teams that we become friends with and we work often. I always ask them, like,
Who's
give me
your
some
worst?
names, give me some names.
Us too.
And some I'm not surprised, and then some names I'm shocked. I was like, wow, I know this person, but I always
they
ask
tell
They
you
tell you a lot about Ben Lau, huh? That guy.
To be honest, like a lot of the issues that they encounter are the ones that are staging, like the layovers, and they're
Flat
taking
lays.
the flat lays. Yeah,
How dare you?
These are my terms.
Yes. And, the shooters.
How long you been a wedding photographer? I'm kidding.
I just started. But the shooters that are more editorial and like more light and airy style, that care more about like the posing and not about the moments, so they tend to have issues more with those type of photographers.
But those are the ones that work well with us because similar style. But we
Right.
have issues with videographers who do the same thing, where they are very directive, very like posy, stagey, doing cheesy things.
Yeah.
Once I get the sense during prep that that's going to happen for the rest of the day, do your shot. I'll come in and do mine after. Let them do their thing. Don't give them a hard time. Your client hired them. Just make sure you take turns and get what you need. Let them get what they need, and then just move on.
Yep.
It is what it is.
We have to learn to work together. Yep.
Yeah. What about florists? How do you know when you walk into a room you're working with a terrible florist?
So I don't think we've ever had a bad
And then they don't directly affect.
Well, there's certain things like what I tend to see, what I've seen maybe once or twice, is that on the wedding day they did not deliver the style of florals that the couple wanted. So one time I showed up, the bride's crying, and I was like, "What? Oh my God, did somebody pass away? Like, what happened?" Her florals looked nothing like what she sent them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a mess, So I seen stuff like that happen, and maybe one time when we did a barn wedding, it was like 105 degrees that day, and the flowers were gorgeous, but they died before the cocktail hour even started. Like they were just,
wilted. And
it was pretty bad. But like I said, other than that, I've never. We had one florist recently who he was very particular of how you handled the bouquet. Okay.
No, he was very nice.
We had no problems with him.
He didn't want the bouquet on a chair, on the floor,
Like,
nothing. Put it down at
Upright.
all.
He didn't want it upright or anything like that.
Upright on a vase is fine.
Upright in the vase, but
Upright
like
against what about like upright against something?
You can't lean
no, you
it.
couldn't put it on a
You
chair.
can't put it on the side or leaning on something.
I went to go put it on the chair, so as my hand is going down, his hand goes whoop, and it swooped out of my hand, the bouquet, and I look over and he's like, do not put it down. It's very flat, fragile. I was like,
you do realize that the wedding party, they spike it like a football when they do their grand entrances at the reception, right?
But the flowers are beautiful. They were very fragile flowers. I get it, but it was sweet. It was funny.
He told Jen, please don't handle it like this. He goes, if you do, you're going to destroy it. And I assure you, it's going to be visible in your photos.
Basically saying don't fuck it up because they look like shit in your photos.
Yeah.
But also, the videographer that day is someone that we worked with before. He warned him first, right? And then like 10 minutes later, he did it again. And I was right next to this videographer. The florist walks up to him and he goes, I told you once already. And at that point, I turn and I look. I'm like, what's going on? And then he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I it's just natural to us to do that."
Yeah.
So he apologized. He goes, "Yeah, please don't do it again."
I did it outside
You gotta
for
take
the
the
first
flowers
look.
away.
I put it like on the ground, and then I kind of like the venue has all windows and glass, and I was like, I hope he's not watching me right now. And I just picked it up right away.
He gave us some trauma.
Yeah,
But he was
Very nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome to work with.
very nice.
It's just that he takes his craft very serious, and he doesn't want us to mess it up.
We've come across a few florists that are so amazing that like they'll have. I think one gave us like a little snack box.
Oh, a snack box.
It was like a wood, but it was like a cardboard box, like those little lunch boxes with like
with a note in it.
With a
That's how you do
Yeah.
it, guys.
with a
That was
snack,
amazing.
and then she included like
A 5-hour energy shot.
yeah, and then like excess little flowers for
they-
like
oh,
for
oh,
the
yeah,
flat
yeah,
lay.
yeah.
So
I was like, oh, it's amazing.
Are they on your preferred vendor list?
I'm not sure.
I don't even know.
You better put them
I'll
on
have
your
to double
preferred vendor
check.
list, and
Yeah.
also let me know this name because
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so nice.
I don't even remember what wedding it was.
I remember
You find
Renault
out.
Winery,
Oh yes, she was extremely nice. Yeah.
and then it had like all the extra little flowers
It
if
had
you
a-
wanted to
give me
use it
that name. I
for.
want
It
that
had a
name.
protein bar. It had a 5-hour energy shot, and something in the card was like, she was a really nice card. Like thanking us.
Beginning of the day or at the end of the
That's
day?
amazing.
Beginning of the day.
When she
So the
arrived.
bride can look to it. She goes, "The
Yeah,
florist
yeah.
left you guys 2 boxes," and I was like,
What?
"Oh, it's probably like petals." or
That's
something.
way to go.
Yeah.
Even,
How you
even,
do it.
even
Wow, I
petals,
love
though. Even
that.
petals,
Yeah.
you know what
I'm
I mean?
stealing
Yeah,
that.
you
I'm
need all
stealing
the
that.
additional.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I'm stealing
florists who
that
think
too.
ahead and like have those additional pieces of flowers available
Yes.
for your flat lays or whatever the case
Oh
may
my
be.
God, I love that.
Those
I
are
love
the
it.
best.
Yeah.
Give me that name. I need that name.
Yeah,
thoughtful,
we will. But that was amazing. And then I ran into her later on during the reception when I thanked her,
That's cute.
and she was amazing. Like really nice, like very thoughtful. That doesn't happen often. So when stuff
Dude,
like
I've
that,
never heard of that before.
when another
That's
vendor
amazing.
does that, something that's out of the norm, and I'm sure it doesn't. It takes her probably like 5 minutes to put this box together,
But it's so meaningful.
Yeah, it was
Right?
awesome. It was awesome.
It's
Right.
like you're like thinking of your other vendors from the day and being considerate and generous and
And it makes
That
you
is
feel bad
amazing.
too, because
Yeah.
like sometimes you're like, as a photographer, we show up and there's things that we just do automatically. Like we already know what to photograph this, the bouquet, but we never really cross paths with the florists as much. And if we do, we just don't pay mind to them because they're working, we're working. So sometimes you just gotta like stop and just say hi and just
Mhm.
talk to
I say
them
hi
for
to
like
all
2
the
minutes.
vendors. Yeah, I say hi to all the vendors and also tag them in the sneak peek that day,
mm-hmm.
because I want to acknowledge all their contributions to helping make the day successful. And I think they appreciate it and they share it and all that good stuff. But I have been chastised once by a florist.
What did you do?
By doing the same thing that you guys, like
putting-
just standing the florals upright against a chair to photo so I can photograph it. To like,
So it's probably,
actually, he yelled at me.
it's probably the same
in front of
florist.
all, it could be. Was it Eastern European?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Vendors in general are smart to kind of think ahead and kind of quote unquote butter up photographers because we have the one tangible product after the wedding day that is a quality item, the photos. People want those.
Yeah.
The florist
Content.
wants them,
Well, we have the
the
content.
dress.
Now,
the
these days, a
boutique.
lot of them are taking their own photos because I imagine that some of these photographers are being jerks about
That's the problem.
Yeah.
it.
I've seen that a few times. I've seen florists bring their own.
Their own cameras.
That's
Yeah.
fine, but I'm
That
saying
was
like, why are photographers letting them feel like they have to go out and get their own people to make content? Why are we being so stingy with our product and our
It goes
photos?
back to the old timers being that way. And
No, but I think also they don't want to wait for these photos, so they want to like post it right away. So I think for their content, they're taking it, but afterwards when the gallery's ready, like share it. Like
Mhm. I don't understand.
you don't look at it from like, oh my god, they're using my photos for free, but you look at it in the point of where it's like free marketing for you. They're gonna tag you. They're gonna like
Mhm.
scream your name out loud, and
Mhm.
they'll
That's a-
remember you.
So that's a good segue to my next thought, right? So I see this argument on Facebook all the time. I don't participate, but
You better not.
I'm busy enough as it is already, right? But like this argument always comes up all the time. And it's like, all right, well, if I'm going to give or provide these other vendors with my images, I want to be paid for it. I want to be compensated for it because they're using it for commercial reason, right? Maybe they're using these pictures in a brochure, or maybe they're using it on some kind of ad campaign, right? Well, listen, if they're going to use my pictures for their whatever reasons they need to use it for, I'm okay with that. Some of the folks who are arguing for compensation for commercial usage, they're like, well, I need to be paid for my work. I need to be paid for my art. They're using this image to make more money, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, do you think that you're the only photographer out there on the planet who's ever shot a wedding there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If they can't get that image from you, they can get it from the hundreds, if not thousands of other photographers who are coming in through those doors.
Yep.
And they can get it for free without the headaches. Guess what? These photographers have that you don't. The relationship with the people who are making decisions. You know what I mean? How much money do you think you're going to get out of that commercial deal? Now, I know we're probably going to get some angry emails from some folks who probably believe otherwise.
That's fine. I mean, whatever works for them, works for them.
Right? But for me, the relationship is a lot more lucrative. From a business standpoint, from a financial standpoint, I think that relationship is worth more than whatever fee I was going to charge them.
Oh, 100%. You can wind up getting 10, 15, 20 weddings from that venue or the other vendor that what you were going to charge them, a couple grand for that one photo?
Yeah, like how much are you going to charge them? Like,
I mean, some people, they say that they charge, $10, $20, $30,000 for that image so they can use it in a magazine because it's a national chain. Honestly, I think they're full of shit.
They're full of crap.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But I'm thinking to myself, the relationship that I have with these people.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been upset in the past when venues have done that. Over the time, like we've gotten bookings from those. We had a venue even like make an album with our gallery, and we didn't know to somebody we met with told us that we booked that person. So I'm like, all right, let them make all the albums they want. Like like they're not the client that I'm going to be selling to anyway. So we created a great relationship with them, and at first we were upset, but then a second wedding came from that album that they made, So what we did was like, let's make an album ourselves and send it to them.
Yep.
Just to make sure that the quality is good as well. So there's like certain things that you're like, as when you're starting out, you're programmed to get into defense mode if someone steals your image without permission, and
that's what I would have a problem with, right? You're just like taking a screenshot of my images and then you're putting up this shitty pixelated photo
with
up
like
there,
no credit,
putting my name. Actually, no, they do give you credit on this shitty photo, the shitty screenshot. That's when I don't want credit, right? But I'm always happy to share images. That's the thing.
Yeah, they say there is no bad exposure. There's no bad marketing, whether it's bad or negative. If you are out there, it's a marketing.
Yep. What was I going to say?
Are you focused, AM?
She's definitely not focused.
She's drunk off of your poison.
She's drunk, yeah.
No. She's on that. What is it? She's on the Hot Mess Express.
First class.
She got first class tickets on the Hot Mess Express.
I was gonna say, I believe in like good karma. Like you get what you give, and people need to stop being so stingy and like withdrawn with their work.
That's fine. Let them, because
more work for us.
Yeah, because us here are capitalizing on people not being as generous
as they should be.
Yeah.
And also doing it from the heart. I feel like sometimes people do things, expect something in return, and when they don't get it in return, you are so guilty of that. And when they don't get anything in return, they are bitter about it, and then they just kind of stop. You have to be consistent and do it out of the goodness of your heart.
You gotta be kind all the time.
Just be nice.
All right? Just be kind all the time.
But also, like, you gotta reciprocate that.
You can't.
Yeah, like I once worked at a venue and they had renovated the lobby. One of the owners like just shouts at me from the other side of the reception room. He goes, "Hey, come take a picture of the lobby." I ignored him. I don't know who he is. I don't work for him. I'm at the venue, I ignored him, and he finally realized that I was ignoring him. So he comes up to me and asks me nicely, "I'll take pictures of the lobby." Fine. Later on in the evening, he pulls Jen to the side, takes her into the office. He goes, give me your memory card. I'm going to download the images now.
Oh, no.
How dare you?
Yeah. So I followed her over there and I go, "Yeah, these memory cards don't leave our cameras. I'm sorry. That's not how it works." And we were like, we'll send them to you when they're ready.
Yeah.
So I think there's one more vendor that we can talk about yet. It's the entertainment team. So let's say band and DJs. But, honestly, I don't really run into issues with bands. It's usually DJs. Every now and then I run into issues. So how do you know when you walk into a room that you're working with a DJ who's going to make your life a little...
I feel a lot of them have I'm the rock star type mentality. If they don't say hi to me, if they don't introduce themselves, I already know that
there's no eye contact.
Yeah, that they have an ego. So I just simply ask the basic questions, just keep my interactions at a minimum. But usually I try to, like, if they have like a lot of spotlights, I try to get ahead on that sometimes. If not, I'll just try to go and use the spotlights as like a backlight. But there's been a couple of incidents that we've had over the past. One was a lighting issue. The DJ had like these crazy patterns on his spotlights. I saw that he was using it when he was testing the lights out. So I ran up to him and I was like, hey, can you please just have those lights off for the first dance and, the formalities.
Mhm.
He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. Whatever you want. Cool. During the first dance, he turns them on.
What are you going to do about it?
Right? He turns them
Right.
on and I'm trying to flag him down and he puts his head down. So he basically ruined all the first dance photos.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up to him afterwards and he just acted like he was clueless.
Mm-hmm.
So, things like that. When I see that you're just trying to make yourself, when you're being selfish like that and you're not being a team player, it's like, well, all right, that person's going to be on my shit list. Like, I'm not going to refer them out. I'm not going to, hopefully I don't ever work a wedding with them again.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen situations like that. Other situations are more of like, just egos. Like,
do you guys maintain a blacklist?
We do.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, you have to in this industry.
So sometimes I'll have a blacklist. Actually, no, I definitely have a blacklist. And then when the clients come to me, hey, listen, I'm considering this vendor. I'm not going to straight out and say, hey, listen, this person's a shithead. I was like, here's a list of other, if you haven't paid your retainer yet or your deposit yet, why don't you check out these folks? So I can't be nailed for shit talking a vendor.
Yeah.
And I think my clients are smart enough to read between the lines. So.
Yeah. It's not a good look. Yeah. If you do,
Yeah. So
there's no way around it.
So that's usually how I kind of work around it. I say, it's a lie for me to say that I've never worked with them before. I would just say, hey, yeah, I've worked with that team before, but why don't you give these other folks a look? And I would say 90% of the time
they do.
Yeah, they'll take on.
Yeah, they'll trust you. They'll trust your
I got like 10 people on my preferred vendor list, and they'll span the spectrum in terms of pricing and portfolio and personalities, right? So there's going to be something for everyone. So if they found someone who's on my blacklist, I would definitely try to refer them out to someone else. So that's the other reason why you want to play nice with people, because maybe you guys might be on other people's blacklists too.
Even people that give us a hard time, I try to just keep killing them with kindness, and just like, yeah, sure, whatever you want. No problem.
The video is the most important vendor today, sir. You get whatever you need to get.
Yeah,
I'm here to support you.
It's just like at the end of the day, I don't want to stress myself out over somebody that's giving me a hard time. I'll just work around it. But also, if they do give me a hard time, I'll just, I'll still be nice to them. I'm not going to flip out unless they're really blatantly
I've never flipped out
assholes.
on a vendor before. Although Karis has flipped out on a video person before.
Yeah, I did it once.
Yeah.
Why?
So this was during COVID, and so we were all masked up. And this was at Bear Brook. You guys been to Bear Brook?
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are in the dance area, right? The dance floor?
Yeah.
There's windows on two sides.
Right.
All the windows are open. All the doors are open, right? So it was open.
They removed the windows, right?
Basically. So basically it's two walls, right? So basically it's considered an open area. So people were able to have their reception inside, right? And this idiot videographer had his big ass LED lights on. For what? It's a daytime wedding, man. For whatever reason, I think this guy was new. He's just standing in front of Karis's Karis has already set up position. And this idiot has his tripod on wheels and he just wheels on over in front of Karis.
No.
And you can tell, I looked at Karis, right? And Karis, you can tell that Karis is just cursing him out through the mask. You can see. She's like, what the fuck are you doing?
So the whole day, he was just like, the whole day, I'd be like shooting photo and then he'll just walk in front of me and stand there. Like the whole day, literally from I'm like, do you not see me, right? Happened once, twice, and then reception comes, they're setting up all these lights. I'm like, what are you doing? It's
bright
so
in here.
bright, your lights are, and these are small LED lights. They're not gonna do anything, right? And then cake, and then so I'm like, are you really gonna put that light stand right there? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Through the mask.
And then cake cutting comes. Cake's right here. He's like right here. I'm like, are you fucking serious? This young. I was like,
poor 23-year-old, I think.
I'm like,
Getting yelled at by
are you serious?
You know what?
Right now?
There's some days where I feel like that, but it doesn't come out.
I used to be I never used to curse, right? As I get older, I'm more. So I tell our kids, I'm like, kids, there are just certain things you just have to curse. You can't express it. But yeah, that's
the only time I think I've ever seen Karis get angry.
We ran into him once later.
Did we?
Yes,
was he scared of you?
You told him. You told him, and then he was much better. But
oh, he was probably new. He was, know.
But entertainment, I know it's going to be a little tricky when, they're not being nice when I come in because I introduce myself to everyone in the room.
I try to. It's the right thing to do. Some people they don't even acknowledge a photographer sometimes, and it's just like
entertainment.
yeah.
I'll ask. You know, the easiest thing that I do to figure out if this guy's gonna be a prick. I ask to plug into their system because
you record like
I record
Ben
speeches.
records.
I record
what
speeches.
the hell?
Yeah.
I use
Why?
I use it for my slideshows.
Oh,
How much you guys want to learn about my
Oh,
stuff?
I mean, I'm not gonna do that. That's too much extra work for me. I can't.
I mean, you can ask the video team. They'll probably give
Sometimes
it
they
to
do
you.
it, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So I just get it myself. There's enough outs. There's enough outs out there that I can plug into. If they're cooperative on that end, you know, and they're being very nice about it, I think it's going to be okay. But like honestly, I don't really have too many problems with entertainment these days, only because oftentimes my clients they end up hiring someone on my list, and I have a very extensive list. It's like 10 or 15 people. You know,
I think the biggest thing that photographers get angry with DJs about is lighting.
Lighting, yeah.
and when they bring their own photographers,
That too. That don't even
shooters?
bother anymore because I'm like, great, someone's getting all the stuff that I don't want to get. Like they'll do gripping grands or like I'm like getting all the extra photos that I'm not stressed about having to get. So I'm totally
do you
cool
know
with
they
it.
sell this to the clients for $1,000?
Hey, that's fine.
I mean, it's kind of
That's kind of fucked up, man.
yeah, but also repetitive because we probably have almost the same stuff.
Only thing that bothers me is that what if the guests or people that are there thinks
They think
these
that
are
you're
You're the part of the
associated.
team.
no, this
Oh.
is your photos when they show it on the slideshow.
These shitty ass
Like
photos.
the day of photos.
I mean,
There's some that
at
are
the end
really
of the day,
good.
they're also like very intoxicated, so they're not even gonna remember the quality of the photos that were
Yeah.
playing on the TV
I-
screen or who it came
I try
from.
not to
so-
worry about that aspect of what entertainment
Yeah.
does with offering photo booths, and because we have a photo booth too, and you know, entertainment is always like the first go-to stop for a photo booth. Same thing with Zap Shooter. Like, I stopped worrying about it because like it's just one of those things. Like if they go to the DJ to book their wedding for the photos, like, all right, they didn't do such a good job at trying to find you. And I guess you probably need to work on your marketing a little bit, you know, in order for the people to find you better. But if they're going for a DJ for photo, that's not your client anyway, you know? So it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah,
that
I
people-
don't see it as much these days.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
the overall trend is with everyone, like vendors, everyone, venues, it's to play nice because that's the trend. Otherwise, you know, social media, there's so many ways to blast somebody and ruin their
And get
like
canceled.
whole
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
Like so I think it's just playing nice. Play nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
And back to the lighting thing, we had a wedding back in March where it was a Long Island entertainment company. They brought the whole shebang because they were related. I'm talking lasers,
Fog.
fog,
I think you guys told us about this. Yeah.
spotlights.
It was-
We're like,
it was
we
quite-
walk in,
quite the scene.
we're like, holy crap, this is going to be crazy. Our photos are going to suck. Let me tell you what. It turned out to be one of the best parties we've ever photographed. All the elements that they brought added so much to the photos. It looked like a club. It was the vibe for that couple. So we knew why they kind of had all these pieces and it was them.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, like, this was a great party shots. We made a reel out of it. I was like, don't walk in there and then just completely shut down because like, oh, the DJ has all these crappy lights. My photos are going to suck. You know what? They hired the DJ. They wanted those lights. It's their party.
Let them be.
Work around it.
Yeah.
But we also asked them like to see what they were gonna do, just to kind of get ahead of what's gonna happen. And there was too much fog for the intro, so we kind of like told, can you just tone down the fog just for the intros? Because what happens, it creates like a big diffused wall, and it's kind of hard. I'm sure it looks great on video, but not for photo. But as soon as I told them that, I was like, just hold back on the fog for a little bit, and they were like, yeah, whatever you need. And you know, the pictures were awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
like as a photographer, don't go in there and start getting bitter and angry when you see what the setup is.
Let
Work
them do
through
their
it
thing.
and you might have some really awesome photos at the end of it. So
Yeah. The longer that I've been doing this, the more I lean towards the PJ end of my work. You know,
Mhm.
I'm just photographing whatever I have in front of me. I used to be a little bit more of a micromanager. Can you believe that?
you don't say. Who? Ben Lau?
No way.
No way, right? But I'm like, yo, I need it this way, I need it that way, I need it. Now I was like, I'm not fighting that anymore. I'm not fighting that battle. I choose my battles. Like I'm too old to be worried.
Yeah,
about
it's
that
not
kind of
worth
stuff.
it. And once you start seeing like what pictures the couples put up during reception, like cell phone pictures that are just like horrible. They're horribly exposed. And you worry about like the technical aspects of your photos. Like they're not worried about that. They're more worried about what you captured, the moment
no
in the
one really
photo.
sees what we see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's more about like the
Yep,
subject and
yep.
what's actually happening in
As
the
long
photo.
as they have, their party, their wedding, their moment.
So far in this episode, we just talked about, you know, how we feel that sometimes we might be not mistreated, but like, things aren't going our way. Like, I can't say that we're expecting to be treated well. At the very least, we should be treated professionally, right? But like, I guess the thing that I wanted to talk about was how can we make other people's lives a little bit easier? Because the thing is, we are in the service industry, and I think that sometimes we focus a lot of our attention on serving the clients, but believe it or not, I think it's probably just as important for us to serve our fellow colleagues as well.
We're all there to do our jobs, and if we can just put all the egos aside and just work together to
So
exactly.
So
what we have to do.
let's start from the bottom back up again, right? So with entertainment, how can we make their lives a little bit easier and better?
Definitely like go over scheduling. Like if I know, including us, we have different packages that have different hours of coverage. So typically we're there for the majority of the reception, but if you're going to leave early, let them know, because what happens is you kind of put them in the bind, because now they have to do everything quicker, and it's not part of what they had scheduled. So definitely, like I know this is like a big thing in our industry of like leaving early, or
let them know. Early. We're leaving on time. I know there was a YouTube video like a year ago.
No, but like I'm saying, just let them know, like, hey, my coverage ends at this time. Do you think that we can do all this? And if they have an issue, all right, cool. I don't mind staying an extra 15, 20 minutes. Can we at least, try to do it? But if you let them know, they at least are not blindsided, like, 10 minutes before you're supposed to leave, like, hey, we need to do cake cutting, and that's when things get a little out of hand sometimes. But I try to talk to, especially the maitre d' entertainment. I always try to say, hey, we're here till this time. Is everything going to happen before them? And if they do, great. If they don't, they'll say, all right, I'll try to do it before you guys leave. Fine. That communication helps to establish that expectation of when things will happen. If you don't, everyone's going to be pissed off. Like, the maitre d's going to be pissed off. They have to do cake cut at this time. Entertainment has to stop the party to, make sure that they do all the
formalities.
Yeah, before you leave. So communication is key. It doesn't hurt to go walk over and talk to them for 2 or 3 minutes.
What do you guys do to serve the florists and the florals?
We definitely share the galleries with all the vendors.
Yeah, we do the same thing too. Make sure I tag them and give them the photos. That's the other thing, right? Like, and I tell our associate team members as well. Like, when you guys are shooting, yes, you're shooting for the clients, but please shoot for the other vendors as well. Make sure that they have something that showcases what their abilities are. So whether it's the hair, the makeup, florals, dress, shoes, flowers, invitation suite, anything that the client spent time, effort, and money on, there's a vendor behind that. So if you guys can take photos of that, that helps us get professional referrals. Because referrals don't just come from clients, they come from other vendors as well. You serve them, and that's how you get referrals.
With planners, we've done this in the past. We reached out, if it's someone that we never worked with, sometimes we'll reach out and just say, hey, is there anything you need from us? Like, anything you want specifically captured that day? They'll tell us. Or if they're like behind the scenes, they're holding the bride's dress, we'll try to get a picture of that, so that they have, so that they have content to use. And when we send them the gallery, they're very appreciative of that we took the time out and took a picture of them, like, working.
They love that stuff.
And on the note of planners, we didn't really dive into planners, but from a photographer standpoint, respecting them and their job and working with them on the timeline, letting them know what you understand, what you need. Don't wait till the day of the wedding, look at their timeline and then be like, I can't work with this. You usually get the timeline days in advance. Hopefully it's a good planner that does that. Then communicate to them beforehand. Hey, this is the timeline that I need. Can we adjust this and work around it? Because you are going to be working with them all day. Hopefully they're a good one that will be by your side the entire day. So you want to kind of set those boundaries and communicate as much as you can in advance of the wedding day. Don't have that beef on the day of the wedding in front of the bride and groom.
For sure. You know what we didn't talk about? How do you know when we arrive on site that we're working with a bad planner?
When they're missing.
You know what? I was thinking the same thing. Like, I thought we had a planner today.
Like, where's the planner?
Well, when they're missing, but sometimes they could be too involved.
Yeah, that one too.
When they're trying to help posing and stuff like that, I'm like, come on, please.
Yeah.
Like,
they're trying to help me with the family shot list. I got it. I've been doing this. But you know what it is? You know what that tells me? That means they've worked with the other photographers in the past who did not know how to do family photos.
Yeah, we did a wedding recently at Pleasantdale Chateau, and the planner, she was ready by my side with her list. She was like, I'm the one that does it on a wedding day. So she was like taken back that I was that like controlling and making sure things are happening the way I run it. She was like, this was amazing. She was like, I'm usually the one that has to like wrangle and call out names and coordinate. And I was like, don't worry, I got it. Because if you start doing it, you're gonna go out of my order and how I run things. And I'd rather just do it this way.
This specific company, they sell that to the client that they do that. Someone we know worked with them a few times, and they're too involved in that process of the day when they shouldn't be.
No, but I think they've, like, to his point, there are photographers that won't even show up with a list.
Yeah.
And then they won't do it, or they rely on the couple to do it.
But they should also know when to step back. Like if you see the photographer does have a list, let them take over and do that. Don't put your foot down and say, no, this is
the way to go. Only way. Yep.
I'm not telling you how to design the table setting. Like, I'm not gonna overstep my boundaries. So people need to know when to stay in their lane.
Yeah, but you don't do it all in front of the client.
No, of course
not. Step aside. Hey, listen, I got this.
Yeah, I was like, I have this. We're good. She was like, this is great, and she took off.
Helping me out here, but like, I can do this a lot quicker than how we're doing it right now. So, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you have something else that's really pressing for you right now, please take care of that. But this part I got. So thank you. And they appreciate your professionalism. And you're making their life a little easier because they're probably stressed out over that. Whatever that is too. You know? So I think, like, how can we serve planners a little bit better? Make their jobs a little easier.
Yeah.
If they have, like, back to what you said earlier, if they have a schedule that they've created, try to stay close to it. And if they're being too ambitious, they shouldn't be too ambitious. We've been this long enough. We'll know when the planner's new and they're being too ambitious with the timeline. Right? We one time we saw a timeline that gave. They had it down to like the minute. That's something was going to happen. I was like, you new here, huh?
Yeah, I see one of those.
You do realize
sure,
that.
We'll do this at 1:35 p.m. on the dot. That's exactly what happened.
But we do make an effort to serve all the vendors that come and enjoy. Because the thing is, you also have to respect the fact that the clients who hired you, they also hired these other folks too. And they spend a lot of time, effort, and money to bring these people on board as well. So it just behooves all of us that we work together, try to make the day a success. So what about venues, right? What do you guys do to serve the venues better? So that way you can have these great relationships with them.
One of the things is like respecting their rules.
House rules.
Yeah. Go over the rules. There's usually somebody there eagerly waiting.
To tell you the rules?
Yeah. To tell you what not to do.
You can't park here and you can't use the bathroom?
Right.
And you got to come through the kitchen.
And for the most part, the rules are
very reasonable.
Very reasonable and within within reason of you doing your job. So just respect the rules.
Yeah.
Second thing is, like, we try to photograph everything that's part of the venue, the outside. If we can make it a cocktail, we get some, food for the cocktail hour, dessert, whatever it is. We try to get images of that as well. Also, talking to whoever's in charge,
Major D, the attendant.
Letting them know, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Don't ever take the couple out without asking permission. That's something that I never do. I don't care what venue I'm at where they'll let you do it. I'm still going to ask, just because it helps you create that relationship with the person you're working with, and they're more appreciative that, all right, this photographer came up to me to make sure, are we doing anything? Are we going to do cake soon? I just want to take them out for a quick night shot. Do it now. Just kind of coordinating all day and just like knowing of when to do everything and not taking the liberty on yourself to just go free reign in the venue like you own the place is usually a good rule to have, and just like I said, establish those relationships. I can't tell you how many times we show up to a venue and the staff sees me and Jen and they're like, oh my God, we're so happy it's you guys. Not because of our photo. I'm sure they see our photos, but I guarantee that's not 100% why they're saying that. They're saying that because we're easy to work with.
Right.
They know that we're there. We're going to listen to whatever we need to do, and we're going to also work together.
Right. It sounds like, just based on what I'm hearing, it would probably be reasonable to conclude that you guys are probably on a couple of preferred vendor lists, right?
Like
we
2
are.
or 3, yeah.
Do you guys pay to be on these lists?
No, not one.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
There's one that it's like we're holding hands, but we're like they'll throw our names sometimes, but we're not on the official list. But that's okay. We work there a lot anyway, so it's like we do a good job at marketing ourselves. But yeah, that to get on the list, just they're referring us because they like us, not because we're giving them a kickback.
Right.
Mhm.
We do the same thing too. Like how we do things to kind of serve the venues a little bit better is that you have to figure out what are the things that they're struggling with, or what are their biggest concerns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that their biggest concerns is the ability to sell and market their space for future clients, right? So what do they need? They need pictures. Well, what pictures do they need in order to sell the space? It's going to be the food. It's going to be the exterior shots. It's going to be the interior shots. It's going to be what the space looks like when it's raining outside.
And even pictures of the staff.
Yeah, all that stuff, right? We're taking all the pictures that we know that they're going to need to sell the space
Mhm.
or their services. And actually, we do that with the venue. We do that with hair and makeup, florals, entertainment. We do all that. Any pictures that they could conceivably use to market their services, those are the pictures I'm taking. Now, will the clients appreciate those photos? I'm sure they would. Interior
Yeah.
pictures and
They won't
stationery.
complain that,
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
captured
yeah,
it,
yeah,
you know?
right?
Yes.
But really, I take these photos for the vendors.
It's intentional.
It's 100% intentional, right? With the volume that we do, that's how we get ourselves landed into, a dozen preferred vendor lists without having to pay a penny. So yeah, so the moral of the story is
Play nice.
that is correct.
Play nice.
Be a good person.
Don't have an ego.
Leave your ego at the door.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Team bride and
And
groom.
sometimes if you have to, you can cuss out another vendor.
Yeah. But like as Karis says, Karis and I say this all the time, like being a wedding photographer is no different than being a plumber or a waiter or a roofer. This is still a very blue collar job. We are still in the service industry. I don't know where people get up on like having these humongous egos. Like you're no different than a plumber, man. Like
I tell you who has the biggest ego on the wedding day: the priest.
No, it's the church lady. It's the church lady.
There's no playing nice in certain churches.
You can't win. Oh my gosh. So today's sales and marketing tip, actually sales and marketing discussion, is about the word no. It's about setting boundaries. How do you handle, I wouldn't say troublesome, but how do you handle conflict on a wedding day, with people that are kind of difficult to work with,
Oh, so let's back to the vendor talk?
No. It's going to be like,
It goes to be your client?
groom, rambunctious groomsmen, drunk groomsmen. I don't know if I ever told you guys this. There was one time a drunk father of, I want to say the father of the groom or the father of the bride grabbed Karis' ass. Did you guys know about this?
Yeah, he told us about this.
What did you do, Karis?
Both of us were
He was
like,
like stunned,
Did this
right?
just happen?
like, yeah, we're like, how do you react to it?
He was
Do I,
like stunned, like you
don't
don't.
go home, like do I curse him? Like
Did you tell someone, or someone saw it because the dad apologized?
they were all there, bride and groom. And then so it's bride's
I mean,
dad.
let's be honest. My wife does have a nice ass.
So it's bride's dad.
It's
So
a very
it's
squeezable
a
ass.
dad that does it to like a lot of brides. His friends, like he's just slaps their butts.
And the photographer.
Yeah, like so he's like, oh, I thought you were, friend, and
What?
and,
No.
and then
Under
yeah.
no circumstance, it's okay to do
Yeah,
that.
That's
they
hilarious.
apologize.
But
Now,
it also
Karis,
goes
when,
back
now,
to
now
like
when Karis goes out
yeah.
to shoot a wedding, she dresses like an Amish woman. So, like,
That's where that trend began. She's like, forget it. No one's gonna look at my ass. Cover this ass up.
Do you see my ass?
That's a nice Amish ass.
What's under there?
but like troublesome clients, like how do, or like even demanding parents, like they'll email you after the fact and they want this and that, or like just being very difficult, right? So the story that I told yesterday during my live was like there was a mom who told me, actually she told the planner, hey, listen, I don't want the photographer, I don't want the videographer in the center aisle during the ceremony, and I also do not want to see this photographer and this videographer at all during the reception. I don't want to see them in the line of sight. I don't want them on the dance floor. So I'm like, what? Like, how do you want me to do it? Like, should I just pack up? Should I just go home? Right? And the thing was,
Pretty much, she put it like, yeah, you guys should just all go home after like the portrait. Pretty much, and strictly to video guy, like, do not be anywhere in sight.
But did the couple know about this?
Yeah, so the bride at this point had enough of her mom because her mom was being just an insufferable human being.
That's what usually happens.
The whole weekend, right? So bride didn't want to have anything to do with mom. Bridesmaids didn't want to have anything to do with mom. This mom made the flower girl cry because the flower girl was eating fruit.
She's eating like strawberries in the morning, and she's like,
put that down right now.
Get it on your dress.
Stop eating your fruit right now. This little
one of
3-year-old like.
Yeah. At that point, that's when you give an edible to the mother and say like, "Hey, like we need you to chill today." You know,
Relax.
It was like her
Yeah.
wedding day. It wasn't even her daughter's wedding day, right? I'm not going to complain too much at this point, after the fact, only because the couple's a sweetheart and they also spent like $5,000 on like albums and
I feel like
you should have put a picture of the videographer on the dance floor in the album.
in those circumstances, we kind of just like ignore them in a nice way.
Yeah,
Like,
well, you have to do your
hear
job.
them out and then just
just
do
say
what you
yes.
have to do anyway.
we just say yes
And
to
like,
them.
okay, you want me to dance floor? Okay, and then I'm still gonna be on the dance floor. Like, did they write the check? Like, I don't understand.
Well, I'm already paid in full at that
No,
point.
I'm saying, but I don't understand why
Yeah.
they think they have the control to say like, this is what you're gonna do, unless they like on their children's wedding day. It's not the couple telling you can't do this, and this. Then I'll respect it because you paid me and this is what you want, whatever. But an outsider,
I think some people, like, I see this like several times. I think some parents are so controlling and overbearing how they raise their children.
mhm.
They're just used to it, I think, even when they're grown up. So like,
Yeah.
they're just
We've
like,
had those instances, and I think we just kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
it's just, yeah.
We
And
become
do what we
those yes
can.
people.
Yeah, we ask them. Sure, no problem. Sometimes I'll do it. Sometimes I won't, and just like walk away, let them forget it.
I love
Yeah.
a good
You
argument.
just have to be like super nice. You just have to be like super,
have to be
super
nice.
duper
You
nice
picked,
to
you
them.
picked the wrong person.
Extra nice.
You picked the wrong person to pick a fight with, right? So I realized I can't do my job if these are the parameters that she set for everyone. There's no way that we can get my work done, right? So so mom was sitting in the corner by herself because nobody wanted to talk to her, right? She's just in the corner. So I went up to her and I pulled up a seat next to her, just so that way we're eye level. I didn't want to talk down on her, right? And I was like, "Hey, what's up, mom? I just talked to the planner. I just want to hear from you first. You have some special requests about photos and whatnot." And she's like, yeah. Because like I'm bringing the temperature down a little bit because she's already tense because everyone's ignoring her. And I think she knows that everyone's ignoring her. So here comes, Mr. Nice Guy, Ben Lau, the photographer, comes over to talk to her. Because here's the thing, right? On the wedding day, everyone loves me. You're like, oh, man, like you can't get mad at that guy that everyone loves. You know what I mean? So I was like, hey, listen, mom, so let me get this straight. You want X, Y, and Z. Is that correct? Right? And she's like, yeah, that's why. And so I asked her, like, well, what's your main concern here? Why don't you want us to do X, Y, and Z? And then she told me, right? And you know what? Believe it or not, mom had a point, and her reasoning for her thinking that way was because she was at another wedding and the videographer and the photographer blocked the view of the entire ceremony. Like the guests could not see what was going on in that ceremony space. So that's why that was her argument. Like, I don't want to see the photographer and videographer up there front and center because I want the guests to be able to enjoy the ceremony. Valid point, right? So I was like, listen, mom, I don't know if you've ever seen my work or anything like that, but that's not how I work. You're going to be able to see the ceremony. Everyone's going to be able to see the ceremony. I'm not disruptive. I'm not, distracting or anything like that. But also, I want to ask you this, mom. Your daughter, your oldest daughter, the first one to get married in your family. This is the first wedding for the family. Do you think that this is a moment that your husband will want to have captured? Your firstborn coming down the aisle to get married on their wedding day? Don't you think that this moment is important enough to get captured on photos? So, of course she's going to say yes, right? Like, well, mom, in order for me to get that shot, I got to stand over here. There's nowhere else for me to stand to get that shot. Doesn't that make sense? She's not going to say no because she's not unreasonable, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and this is my philosophy on people like this, right? It doesn't matter how crazy all of us think that this person might be, right? But in their own minds, they're not the villain in this story. They're either the hero or the victim, but they're never the villain, right? In their minds, the way that they're doing things is the correct way, right? So basically what I did was like, hey, listen, you are not the villain here. I completely understand you. And that allows them to feel like they're being heard. Their ideas are validated, their feelings are validated, and that helps us lower the temperature a little bit. And then I was able to reiterate her concerns, to express or convey that I understood exactly what she was saying. And then you just redirect all that negative energy into a solution that was not on her radar in the first place. Because her original solution to all this was to kick everyone out and send them home, right? But I'm like,
No
listen,
photos.
There's another solution.
Listen, just send the video guy home.
Just send the video guy home. There's a way that we can both win. There's a way that we can, that I can get the photos that I need and that we're not disruptive or distracting. That's your biggest concern, right?
Be mindful,
right?
Be mindful.
So then she's like, yeah, okay. As long as I don't see you, we're good. I was like, listen, Mom, everyone's looking down the aisle when I was like, listen, unless you think I'm so handsome that you just can't keep your eyes off of me, when your daughter's coming down the aisle, everyone's eyeballs are going to be down the aisle. I'm going to be over here at the other end. No one's looking at me. Okay. So she's like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, I'm being very reasonable here, right? You can't argue with that. And it's infuriating to argue with someone that reasonable. Okay. So I got what I needed to get. And I didn't have to say no. I didn't have to argue with Mom. I didn't have to ignore her, And I think
she trusted you afterwards too.
Yeah, because I made the effort to kind of diffuse the situation, lower the temperature a little bit.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I bring this up is because, in a lot of these Facebook groups that I'm in, there's a lot of this headbutting, right? But the thing is that doesn't accomplish very much because, now you got bad feelings going on this end and you got bad feelings on this end and then no one's getting any work done. And you're not going to be performing at your best if you're in a foul mood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And no one's going to give you their best if they're in a foul mood. So why don't we try to find solutions instead of focusing on all these little other not important things.
And I think that goes with everything we said about vendors. This whole conversation also applies to friends and family of the bride and groom.
Mm-hmm.
Work nice with them. Listen to them. Accommodate some requests unless they're unreasonable. If they ask you to do some things outside of your usual norm, it's okay. It's your 1,000th wedding. It's their first or their.
I want the bouquet on the train.
Ro is very.
It's not okay.
I have to talk Ro off the ledge a lot. But sometimes understand you've done this 100 times. It could be the first time, their first child getting married, or just have to accommodate. It's fine.
My biggest issue is when the family has all these ideas. Mm-hmm. And they're throwing it out there like, I want a picture of this. I don't mind doing it as long as the couple is okay with it and as long as they know, right? So I'm that person that go, hey, your mother wants this picture. Is that okay? And but I'm not gonna do it in front of the mom. I do it privately, And if they say okay, all right, fine, we're gonna do that. But if not, I'm not gonna. I want them to enjoy their day, and if someone's telling me to do that while they're greeting all their guests at cocktail hour, I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my issues that I'm getting better at it. All right? Getting better at saying yes.
Is that what your therapist tells you?
Hey, my therapist. Your diagnosis wrong.
Anyway, so I think we learned a whole bunch today about taking care of people, serving others. I think that's the moral of today's story is to be kind.
Mm-hmm. Say yes a little bit more.
Yeah.
It'll serve you better.
Yeah, find opportunities to say yes a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You can accomplish so much more by saying yes than by saying no.
Yep.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Play nice in a sandbox.
Well, this was a great episode of Focused AF.
Are you guys focused AF?
I'm Focused AF.
I think I am.
Not after this drink?
No. And then we have to have another one. So whatever, it is what it is.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Focused AF.
You can follow us on Instagram at focus.af and check out our website at focus-af.com. Also, we are looking for guests. So if you are interested, send us an email at hello@focus.af.
Hello.com. My exit was better. Now, kidding.
Have a good one. Bye. Done.
Adios. Later.
Done. Bye.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams, Ben and Karis.
And Jenn Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you Focused AF?
I am Focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be Focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.